I actually heard that can open, actually.
You did? It came through?
Yeah, came through.
All right, yours didn't come through, but I saw it happen, so whatever. Well, we are reacting to Bluecoats today, finally as well, on our journey through the DCI 2024 season. And on this video, we'll preface this, is 10 days old, but we did this for a reason. There is a newer battery video we could have used from Texas Week that just finished up, but this is a package that we felt like is best digested viewing the whole percussion section. Kind of what we did with
totality.
Phantom. Yeah, because I'll admit, before we even jump in, the battery book sounds kind of weird at moments if you just listen to it by itself, but then you hear it in context and it's really cool stuff most of the time.
I mean, it's obviously not meant to be a standalone thing, so definitely makes sense.
Not at all. So, welcome to Aged Out Reacts, everybody. We're the two hosts of the Aged Out podcast, Michael Fantini and
Evan Worrell.
And I'll see if I can keep this short. Comment, like, subscribe, share the video, Facebook, Instagram, give us a follow over there, patreon.com or the join button right here on YouTube if you want to support us financially, or go to agedoutpodcast.com and buy a logo shirt to support us financially that way, and that way you get something for what your donation is. Aged Out Fundamentals, drum every day. Take advantage of those great practice tools and playing tools to use. If you're an instructor, give the link to your students. If you're a student, give it to your friends, use it yourself, whatever. Get your hands in shape, keep your hands in shape. Works for all that. And today's video is sponsored by Brash Drums. Some of the best practice pads we've ever used. Evan's holding up the Alpha pad there with our logo on it. They do offer those, actually. He did add that to the website that I saw. But the pads are super lightweight, super well made, super articulate, designed by a product engineer who marched bass drum at cadets in 04 and 05. So great guy. Check out brashdrums.com, link in the video description. Now let's watch some Bluecoats.
Let's go. The Bluecoats. Change is everything.
Yep.
And yes, someone did beat us to the video.
Yeah, we saw that comment.
In the comments of this.
Yeah, good PDD roll in the middle of that. Nice little bass lead in.
Shot. Yep. Isolated fast strokes.
Crescendo too. That pickup
Pimple
feel.
Little,
yep. Pass it over to the quads. Yeah, just tons of interplay already. That was a long build. That whole phrase is a long build.
They just kind of drop the bottom out of the battery voicing. Go back a little bit, hard pause. Got to that last shot, boom, drop the bottom out, and then the keys just pick up right there at the bottom dynamic and crescendo it up, build it back up.
Already in that first 45 seconds or minute, the focal focus of musically has been passed around between all subsections of the battery. There's interplay between each. You pointed out the moment the bottom drops out, marimbas or the keys take over up front. Just a ton of communication going on between all sections.
Yeah. A lot of those isolated heritage.
Hi, Heritas, as TJ pointed out. I love those. Yeah, right there. Past it. Then the battery layer back on top. Yep.
A lot of isolated hits.
Oh, something really cool. You pointed out those accented big heritas there. It's almost like that was used as a focal point, or I don't want to call it a motif. Maybe you could call it a motif. Not really, but it's just that recurring theme of stabs. It was an emphasis point throughout the whole musical phrase as it built, and it just kind of showed up here and there consistently, and it was a cool little reminder all the time. And I love big hair just like that, so it's after my heart.
We know. Hand to hand there, tasty bass. Back to this kind of trade-off.
It's like an A-B quad snare with the one-handed thing.
Definitely a
cool.
thematic there with the kind of double accent. Yeah, good articulation on the notes, the space in between the rhythms and the bass line too.
Yeah, solid Mac rolls too.
The hocket.
Pretty good full battery roll there too.
And the bass on that.
So I have to point this out too before they get into the next phrase there, and I'll back up in a second to get the beginning of that front moment as well as it began. We pointed out in our like mid-season podcast recently, you know, this is a starkly already way cleaner drum line than we heard 2 weeks prior when tour started. So
right.
I just further lean towards they had to work out so many kinks in spring training. They just didn't have the cleaning time early.
Well, and just look at the timestamp of this run, 13 minutes.
Yeah, a lot of show.
Freaking long show.
So we pointed out early. People were texting us like, did you hear the Bluecoats when they came out? And I was like, yeah, we did, but it's the first show. Like, you don't need to, like, the package is going to be great. The team there knows what they're doing. They won a Sanford 2 years ago, and I think it's mostly the same team. Like, they'll clean up. So that's got to be it, because there's already night and day difference in the 2 week gap here.
Feels like a time signature change here. Maybe like a 6/8, 12/8.
Really subtle.
Yeah.
Delicate.
Warm. With the gok block up
Good
front.
warm bass
The wood
rolls.
blocks. A T-Swift bracelet? What was that?
Yeah.
Got a close up.
Those isolated 5 strokes are so hard.
Yeah. Gotta wait for a little bit.
Yep.
Kind of a subtle achel in there too. Now we're at a brand new tempo.
Dude, placing all those.
Ooh, the re-attack out of space.
Really good.
Full ensemble. Battery and front too.
Yeah, solid quad rolls. Oh, the way that phrase layered, snare, adding quads, adding basses. Oh, the end of the bass run. Dude, the end of that phrase built so well.
This sound, pause. I don't know if anybody's ever, so it looks like you're doing it on the vibraphone. I don't know if everybody's like, if in a percussion ensemble piece, I remember you like hit a critale and then you dip it in water and it makes like that kind of wah sound. That's what that sound reminds me. I don't know if any of what I just said came through that, but
No, it did.
okay.
It's a very distinct sound.
Like, I don't know if that's like bowing, that imitate bowing.
That's what
like
I would
a
think,
string
yeah.
instrument. The split there, and there's A-B, A-B. He's feeling the music. The pure metallic voicing. Leave out the woods.
Even add the metallic type sound to the triangles too over top.
Mm-hmm.
Just to flesh out the soundscape.
Ooh, ensemble triangle there from the... This part of the show is like obviously never meant to be read because they're like all the way back in the far side 2 end zone. So it's just like more of like a feeling that you're supposed to get. Like what you hear on every like high school music tape. I want to feel you, battery, but I don't want to hear you.
This is the epitome of that. This is what they're talking about.
But the communication, though, too, think about like what they're playing is far away from the front.
With a softer, harder to hear implement, too. It's interesting how the rubber tip sound on the snare blends with the bass sound.
It'll be interesting in the dome.
Oh, I loved how he opened that one up.
Those like all those isolated roughs, man. When you play one great and then one like just a little off,
it's so stark.
Yeah.
Overall, pretty good. On the lower rolls, the blend was almost there between quad to snare.
I always love those rolls. Like where you just open up the top end and then reattack into it.
It sounds cool, and your hands also get kind of a reset. You play a roll, you get to reset, redial the ears in to do it again.
Communication from the drum set. Yeah. Very isolated. Ooh, exposed. Ooh. Nice. Little rhythmic detail.
See, I love the bass moment in the middle of like a softer, more subtle musical moment in general. Because, you know, I mean, a bass drum with runs can be less of a harsh tone compared to a snare drum or even quads. But like, it's like we said in WGI this year with cymbal features. It's a whole different approach to fit a feature like that in a more subtle moment.
Right.
Because drums are just like naturally loud and aggressive. But when you do it that way, it's so delicate, and it's just a nice change of pace for your ears.
Mm-hmm. And especially like with a drum corps show with how loud the brass is, like just being able to find that pocket to showcase. Nice.
That was really good. Dude, their quads and basses are really good. I think so, at least.
The jump.
Lost the decrescendo roll like the last double stroke or two, but
The one where they jumped straight was really good.
it was very good.
We're 10 days old, you know. But yeah, we're watching. This reminds me of like something from like Mario Kart.
This could be a Mario Kart track.
Here we go. Woo,
Yeah, all the way
nice.
up and down.
From the 8 to 6.
Rarick faked us out with the cross stick section. We didn't really get one. Oh, there it is.
Oh.
And we're back.
Tease. The Tom Rarick tease. All the
Very
texture.
different feel to this chart compared to the rest of the show so far. Whew.
Putting a lot of those hand-to-hands in those pockets.
What you said about those
Okay,
isolated roughs
chicken-
earlier,
chicken-
where like when one is really good, and if the one right after is not, even if it's close, it still sounds way off because the one before was perfect. Same thing goes for those accented, like isolated 5-strokes too. It's when you nail one, it's so apparent when you don't nail the next one.
Yeah, when the space between the notes is like so perfect, and then when it's not,
Yeah.
it's
High risk, high reward though.
Yeah, all that jiggity dig it. All the space, yeah. That's tough.
There's a lot of really tough stuff in the book, so far at least.
Trade off with the roughs and the concert snare. Re-roll. It's very like esoteric in the synth. The coda. That was cool. Check it dum.
Okay.
That reminds me of like something from the movie Contact that came out in the 90s. Scrambling the airwaves there.
Oh, that was sick. Listen to the basses in the front.
Yeah.
It's like 2 counts or 3 counts. Listen to that. It's so cool. We're going to get that sound effect again, too. I hope.
Little cello rondo.
Oof. That's so cool.
Right in the marimba.
And talk about ensemble communication to do that. Yeah, good threes.
They always do a really good job of using sound effect as like rhythmic support.
There it is again. Dude, there's a lot of reattacks in space in this book, and you can hear it in the clarity too. Like it's just gonna take them way more time still to dial all this in. Well, I'll let it finish first. And the Bluecoats.
Hey.
Actually, we're gonna go back. I'll let the logo fully come. Here we go. Nice little animation here. And
Yeah, don't blue balls it.
right.
Hey.
And there we go. Cool.
Go ahead.
No, what I was gonna say a second ago was just the book has so many reattacks. Like every phrase, like every 2 counts, every count, and you can hear it in where the clarity is at right now from a battery standpoint. Of they'll nail one and have a reattack a count and a half later and be off there. Then they'll nail the one after that. It's just it can snowball, and
there's a lot of reward for the risk, which is great.
The book is super high risk, but
So then just dialing in that consistency. So we're like 2.5 weeks out, maybe 2 weeks out, something like that.
Yeah, halfway to the Atlanta week. I think I said it in the middle of the video. The front seems really strong to my naive front ears, and given how they've been scoring percussively, I'm probably safe saying that with the new system, especially, and everything from a judging perspective. I think the quads and basses are very solid, especially still having, from when this video was taken, a month left in the season.
Right.
I think it's going to come down to how clean the snare line can get. I think that's going to be the Achilles heel. It's either going to win it for him, or it's because I think the other pieces are there.
And obviously, like the consistency, like I know I mentioned in the mid-season review, just being able to be consistent all 3 nights. For a Sanford, that is,
Yes.
Obviously on the final night you can pop a run and win.
Exactly.
Overall, but yeah, I think at least the hunt for the Fred Sanford this year, the consistency will be very, very key. Since there's so many great groups right now.
It's like we said, it's high risk with all the reattacks and all the space and hand and feel changes throughout that book, and which is going to make consistency be hard to do. But I will say, I mean, we said this in our post San Antonio discussion, they're only 2/10 behind Boston.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Now, granted, this was probably a week before San Antonio, so they probably have even gotten better by the time this was filmed to San Antonio.
Well, I hope so.
In theory, we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt here, but you only got 2/10. I would just focus on cleaning the hell out of the show music at this point.
Yeah.
That's the approach I would take, like as an armchair quarterback take. And I'm not saying they're not trying to clean. Obviously, everyone's trying to clean every day. But I would just throw all noise, just ignore all the noise, and we're just going to grind fundamentals, break these phrases down, just work.
We're going to do some whack tracking. We're going to track. I mean, we're just...
Yep, all the good stuff. No, I wasn't a huge fan when I first saw things at the beginning of the season, but seeing this video more in depth and focusing on everything, I think they'll be in the top 3 at the end. Percussion section.
It definitely hits different with the front than it does by itself.
Very much so. So, yep. So I'm a fan. Even as an alumni, I want to see him win every time. So we'll see how clean they can get it. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. You got anything else?
I'm good.
All right. Comment, like, subscribe. Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, join button on YouTube, agedoutpodcast.com. Grab yourself a shirt. Aged Out Fundamentals. Drum every day. Get your hands back in shape. Keep your hands in shape. Brashdrums.com. Grab a practice pad. They're awesome. And we will see everybody in the next one.
Peace.